Greetings, travelers through the cryptoverse. If you've been following my channel, I've been talking about this. What you see here is the vertical lines. Last Friday every month, closure dates of the CME Bitcoin futures market. This is the Hike and See. Hike and See shows trends more than candlesticks. So you can clearly see. Let's spread this out a little bit. Get a look at the whole field here. I have a question for everyone watching. Let me know down in the comments section what you think's about to happen. Looking at this Hike and See trend pattern. Green pumps, red dumps, vertical lines are the last Friday every month. The Bitcoin futures over on the CME futures market. You can see basically every month it's been dumping down to it. Let me get rid of these two on the left here. I hadn't really looked back. I've been talking about this chart for a while. Little chart I made here for you. I hadn't really looked back into November, but actually November 27th, CME futures, Bitcoin was manipulated down to that. It doesn't look like much, but that went from 19,500 to 16,200. So that's that's like 16% or so dump. And then the green pump away from it looks like about another, about an equivalent pump away from it, 15%. I just wanted to show that real quick. That's where it started, right here. See this big green pump away from it, red dump down to it, green pump away from it, red down to it, green up, red down to it, green up, red down to it, green up. This was 4 days earlier, but it's in that ballpark. See how it's working? It's not the exact day. It's not the exact last Friday of the month, but it's really close, just in a general sense. Green pump away from it, big red dump down to it. This also was 4 days earlier, give or take. You can see it. I don't need to explain it. This was the largest monetary loss in the history of Bitcoin, and it was kind of choppy through here. Everyone catching their breath. The pattern still is able to show back up. So what's happening here is people are playing Bitcoin futures on the CME market, and they're coming over here and manipulating the price, and it's basically been down every month. This was the B word conference. I saw a comment saying I put too much into the B word conference. No, I'm not. I can't put enough emphasis on the B word conference, and this was dumping down. This is a little early, but you can see if this would have been allowed to play out a few more days, this red dump would have come down to here, and then this would be the green pump away from it. There's actually almost a 10% dump here down to it. 9%, 10% dump, about 9% or so. Dump down to it, green pump away from it. And then September, we're right back on. Obviously, red dump to it, green pump away from it. So, I don't want to say it's, something in the future is going to happen for sure, because it might not, right? But I just want to show this. This is hard to ignore. This is hard to ignore. This is hard to ignore. This is October 29th. Last Friday of the month, CME futures close. So this is basically the worst mistake I've made in my analysis was right here, October 3rd, October 4th. I wasn't paying attention to the news, and I wasn't aware there was an ETF that got approved or was about to be approved. So I didn't catch on to that here for a few days. So I kind of made basically the worst video I ever made was here at 47,000, 48,000. I should have known, but I stopped watching a lot of the channels I was getting news from because they're hyping, and I'm tired of watching the public getting it handed to them basically every single month. And I just want to put this out. You should. I need to take it easy on my titles, because if I make a dump title or a crash title, it makes it sound like I'm saying, like Bitcoin's over, right? It's going to 10,000. That's not what I'm saying, right? You can clearly see what I'm saying. We could be looking. This is the second largest pump, monetary pump, not percentage. Second largest money value pump in the history of Bitcoin. Let's just call it from 41 to 67. That's $26,000 pump. The only bigger one ever was here from 30,000 to 58. That's a $28,000 pump. And here's the third largest. This was the second. Now it's the third. From 18 to 42. That was 24,000. So this one has taken over second place in the history of Bitcoin. There it is. I would be adding small, short orders, low leverage. I would be adding tiny, small, short orders right now, but I don't get paid till tomorrow. So I'm hoping this holds off for another day. I want to show you what this reminds me of, what we may be looking at. I don't know for sure. This is the Coinbase IPO to all-time high. This is the Coinbase hype leading up to it. Well, we got the green pump away from this closure, right? And then it kind of blah, blah, blah. And then this is the pump. This is the hype pump, kind of like what we're dealing with now. The Bitcoin ETF futures is just another futures product. I actually think it's bad news for Bitcoin. That's the problem with social media and hype is Bitcoin's being manipulated because of the futures product on the CME market that's already out there. That's what's causing these huge dumps, or not totally causing, but has a lot to do with it. As you can see, you can't look at this chart and not realize that. So I don't know why people are celebrating another futures product. It's not a Bitcoin ETF. It's not Bitcoin. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's a fiat futures product. I don't understand why anyone in crypto thinks it might be good. Maybe it will be. I think it'll be bad for Bitcoin. This is the kind of stuff that will, it's like whale hunters, whale fishermen, right? All these harpoons are being thrown into Bitcoin. Maybe people aren't realizing it, right? The CME futures market is holding Bitcoin down. The futures ETFs, there probably might be a bunch more coming out that are approved. They're like, each one's like a harpoon, right? They're not real Bitcoin. So it gives people more of a motive to come off those products and come over here to the Bitcoin market, the real Bitcoin market, this market that you're looking at right here, and manipulate it even worse. All these things could end up holding Bitcoin down. But we'll have to see for sure and see how it plays out. But I don't want to make this video too long. This is the Coinbase IPO to old all-time new high. I actually called this within 24 hours. I made the mistake of saying the day before. It was April 13th is what I called. It'll be the new all-time high. It turned out to be the 14th. And then these candles, this is the daily chart. These candles open at 7 p.m. Central Time. We got daylight savings coming on November 7th. Everyone keep an eye on that. It can get confusing. The next day, April 15th, kind of just a little sideways type action. April 16th, April 17th at 7 p.m. Central Time, this candle opened. It did just a little notch up, and then it dumped. That's when the dump started. April 18th, 7 p.m. opens up, and there is no little bit of wick on top. That's just straight down. 50,000. That's a $11,500 red candle, and it's just a flash crash. It's just a flash crash, right? And the next day opens up 7 p.m. It comes all the way back up to 59,000. It's just a flash crash. Boom. No, it's not. It's a real crash. Boom. At the time, this was the largest monetary loss in the history of Bitcoin. It was only beat by the following month with the Elon Musk fiasco. And so anyways, how is that relevant? Let's look at where we're at right now. All-time high, 67,150 or so. October 20th, almost playing out just like the Coinbase IPO at this point. The next day, 7 p.m. Let's go back. Let's get off hiking to see. Let me show you the candles. That's where I messed up. That was hiking to see. I'm sorry. The indecision candle was a green one. I should have went back to candlesticks. I was talking about the candlesticks, but you can see it, right? There it is. The dates are correct. The Coinbase was a hype. Sell the rumor, buy the rumor, sell the news. Here we go. Red vertical line, October 29th, CME futures Bitcoin closure. All-time high, October 20th. Bitcoin still might pump a little from here, but if you watch my last video, this is playing out perfectly so far, just like I said. 15, 16, 2 days later, it shows signs of weakness. pulled back up. 4 days later, the epic crash was unstoppable. So one day, 2 days later, it'll be the 22nd. 3 days, the 23rd. Go back to hiking and see. Within the next 48 hours, we could be looking at the next big red cascading event. There was $600 billion taken off the table here. Just eyeballing it. That was the biggest one. Off the Coinbase IPO, that's probably $400 billion taken off the table, give or take. 20, almost 28%. So 28% from here would be 48,000 level, which is an interesting level that matches up with the last little resistance support area. Interesting level. Also, another level to watch would be if it were even a bigger dump. This is a pretty good little resistance support area here, about 42,000 ballpark. My next video I'll make tomorrow, I'll be adding to my short position when I get paid. So I might luck out. And be able to catch this. I will explain what I'm talking about there. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link down in the description a little video about how I'm playing this. I may be doing it totally different than what you see on YouTube, so I don't want to confuse anyone. I just want to make this video about one subject here. So if it were to dump down towards this red line, it could come down here. Maybe it's not that severe. Maybe it, bottoms out at 52. But what's happening here? All of 2021, for the most part, what's likely to happen is a dumpy dump, and then a little something like this, and then a pumpy pump, right? Something like that. My opinion. That's what we're looking at. Whether it's a smaller one, right, or a bigger one, or an even bigger one, I don't know. Also, what could happen is maybe it just goes sideways. Maybe there's so much hype it just goes sideways, and then the only time that's happened where it's pumped up to the CME closure is here. But that's basically, just kind of a strange little event. I think that's still the same structure, but when that happened, then after that it dumped. So watch out for a pump to the closure date and a dump away from it. It could be flip flopped. No one knows for sure, but anyways, I want to just get rid of all this stuff and have you one last look at it before I end this video and stop drawing the lines at random. There it is, folks. What comes next? So I started out the video asking you what you think's about to happen. I'm going to end the video. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? Hope you enjoyed this. Be careful out there. And as always, thanks for watching.